In the grand halls of the Galactic Concord, where over 500 alien species gathered to debate and decide the fate of stars, Earth was the newest member, barely noticed, barely respected. Humanity had joined the galactic stage only 20 years ago. They arrived in small ships running on outdated engines and carried weapons that were considered ancient by Concord standards. Most of the galaxy had faster-than-light travel for centuries. Humans had only just mastered it. To the older empires, humans were a joke. In the Concord forums, the diplomats often laughed behind their translation devices. "They still burn chemicals to launch rockets," one ambassador snorted. "What are they going to do, throw stones at our warships?" They gave Earth a small observer seat in the back rows of the Concord chamber. They were allowed to listen, but not vote. Their diplomats were ignored. Their suggestions were mocked. But something was strange. The humans did not complain. They did not beg for trade agreements or handouts like the others had done when they first arrived. They simply watched, they listened, they smiled, they nodded, and then they went back to Earth. No one thought much of it, but while the galaxy laughed, humanity built. Deep in the black void beyond Pluto, inside hidden stations that didn't appear. On any map, something was happening. Engineers worked around the clock. AI systems tested new kinds of drives. Scientists experimented with energy sources never seen before. Hundreds of thousands of humans worked in silence under layers of secrecy that even the most advanced alien spies could not break. These weren't just research projects. They were weapons, and not just any weapons. Planet breakers, fleet killers, machines of war unlike anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. Back in the Concord, the newsfeed showed more of the same. The Drakari hegemony had just invaded another small moon on the edge of neutral space. The Zentari coalition accused the Drakari of war crimes. The Valari shrugged. Politics as usual. Then someone mentioned Earth again. "Still quiet?" asked a blue-scaled diplomat. "Very," answered another. "They seem content to stay in their little system. Can't even colonize Mars properly." Laughter echoed across the chamber. What they didn't know was that Earth hadn't failed to colonize Mars. They had turned it into a training ground for soldiers and drone warfare. Venus wasn't ignored. It was being used to develop atmosphere-burning satellites. The moon had become the testing site for a new kind of cannon that could fire across interstellar distances. Humanity wasn't behind. They were simply not playing the same game. Everything changed with the incident at Altair 9. The Drakari hegemony, trying to flex their strength, sent a small fleet to inspect a human mining operation. It was supposed to be a simple show of power. But something went wrong. The Drakari commander, impatient and arrogant, ordered a warning shot. One laser beam struck the mining base. The explosion was massive. Over 3,000 humans died. The Drakari called it a mistake. The Concord released a statement of regret. They assumed Earth would file a protest, maybe ask for a small fine or apology. They were wrong. Earth said nothing for 6 days. Then came a single, direct message to the Galactic Concord. "This is no longer diplomacy. This is war. The galaxy" was stunned. War? From humans? Against the Drakari? It was unthinkable. But before anyone could react, it happened. At 300 Galactic time, near the edge of the Altair system, something came through a blind wormhole. It was massive, dark as space, silent without any visible engine trails. It didn't match any known design. The Concord's defense AIs couldn't even scan it properly. It was the first Supernova-class dreadnought. The Drakari fleet fired on sight. The ship didn't dodge. It absorbed the attacks. Then, in a flash of white-blue energy, it fired a single shot. The lead Drakari cruiser simply vanished, not exploded, erased. In the next 30 seconds, 4 more ships disappeared. The rest fled. The strange human ship said nothing. It turned, entered another wormhole, and vanished without a trace. Galactic news exploded. What was that ship? Where? Did humans get that power? Who helped them? But Earth gave no answers, and no one could find the ship again. The laughter stopped. The Conquered held an emergency meeting. Some members were furious, others frightened. "This is impossible," the Drakari roared. "Their technology is centuries behind." "They must have stolen it," said another. "No," said a quiet voice from the Valari side. "They've been quiet for 20 years. Watching, listening, building." The room fell silent. For the first time, someone said what others feared. What if they were never behind? What if they were hiding their strength all along? On Earth, inside a command center buried deep in Antarctica, General Sarah Miles looked over the reports. One ship, one mission, perfect success, no civilian deaths. She nodded. Phase 1, complete. Behind her, the lights flickered as 10 more Supernova-class dreadnoughts powered up, each one hidden in deep space. Humanity had waited long enough. The galaxy had laughed. But now, the stars would learn. This was not the age of empires anymore. This was the age of Earth. The galaxy was still recovering from the shock of the Supernova-class dreadnought's sudden appearance and disappearance. The Drakari hegemony, furious and embarrassed, demanded justice. They called for a vote in the Galactic Concord to punish Earth for its aggression. Many joined their call. The galaxy's laughter had turned to whispers, and some into outright fear. But Earth was silent again. The humans did not respond with words. They responded with actions. It started with a small incident, a routine mining colony in the Zeta Prime system. The Drakari fleet appeared again, this time with a stronger force, claiming to protect their interests. The humans had a small detachment guarding the colony, but they were few and lightly armed. The Drakari attacked. The Concord expected Earth to respond with complaints, maybe demand a ceasefire. Instead, Earth announced it was taking control of the entire Zeta Prime sector. The galaxy laughed, once more. "Humans have no fleet to take such a thing," one ambassador sneered. But when the Drakari fleet tried to attack the colony again, something unimaginable happened. From the void, the Supernova fleet arrived. This was no longer one ship. It was 6 dreadnoughts moving with terrifying speed and silence. The Drakari fired everything they had. Missiles, lasers, plasma beams, all ignored. The humans' ships returned fire with weapons unlike anything seen before. Shots tore through the Drakari vessels, disabling engines, blowing apart command bridges, and dismantling weapons with pinpoint accuracy. In less than an hour, the Drakari fleet was shattered. The surviving ships fled back to Drakari space, broken and humiliated. The galaxy went silent. For the first time, no one laughed at humanity. Behind this sudden power was a secret no one could uncover. The technology of the Supernova fleet was unlike anything the Concord's best scientists had ever seen. It was silent, deadly, and smart. It was not only advanced, it was alive. The ships were controlled by phantom operators, part human, part artificial intelligence. These operators were connected to the ships through neural links, allowing them to control every system instantly, to react faster than any alien pilot could, and to fight with instinct, not just logic. On Earth, General Sarah Miles watched the battle data carefully. "These phantom operators," she said to her team, "are the key. They are not just pilots, they are warriors." Her voice was calm but firm. "We created them to defend humanity, to be the teeth behind our smile." The team nodded. They had trained these operators in secret for years, selecting only the best humans and merging them with AI to create something new, something no other species could copy. While the galaxy tried to understand the human power, rumors spread. Some said the humans had discovered ancient alien technology buried in the Kuiper Belt. Others whispered about hidden alliances with mysterious entities beyond the galaxy. No one knew the truth. Earth kept its secrets close, and the galaxy feared what might come next. The Galactic Concord tried to respond with force. A large coalition fleet formed, thousands of ships from different species, armed with their most advanced weapons. Their goal was clear: destroy the Supernova fleet and force Earth to surrender. They planned a surprise attack near the Sirius sector, a neutral zone where humans had no known bases. But the humans had already anticipated this. When the Coalition fleet entered the sector, the Supernova fleet appeared from hidden wormholes. The battle was quick and brutal. The Coalition fleet was torn apart before it could organize. The galaxy realized something terrifying. Humans had mastered hidden travel through space. They could appear anywhere, strike with unmatched power, then vanish without a trace. It was as if the Supernova fleet was everywhere and nowhere at once. The war had begun. The galaxy no longer laughed. It feared. Back on Earth, in the depths of a command center, Sarah Miles prepared a message. The war was not just about power, it was about survival. Humanity had lived through centuries of threats, from natural disasters, from alien diseases, and from the dangers of their own planet. They had learned to fight back. Now they would fight for their place in the galaxy. Sarah looked at the hologram of the galaxy, the bright dots showing human fleets scattered across systems. She spoke softly. We will show them what it means to underestimate humanity. As the Supernova fleet continued its campaign, more worlds fell under human control. But Earth was careful. They did not conquer to enslave. They conquered to protect. In the end, the galaxy learned a harsh truth. The humans were not weak. They were not foolish. They were the deadliest force the galaxy had ever seen. The galaxy was in chaos. No one knew where the Supernova fleet would strike next. It felt like ghosts were attacking, silent, sudden, and deadly. The name, Supernova Fleet, had spread across star systems like wildfire. Ships that appeared from nowhere, destroyed entire fleets in moments, then disappeared like shadows. The Galactic Concord was desperate. They gathered all their brightest scientists, generals, and diplomats in the capital world of Alaris Prime. The goal was clear: understand how humanity had created this terrifying power, and find a way to stop it. In the Grand Hall of Alaris Prime, Ambassador Trellick of the Zentari Coalition spoke first. We face an enemy unlike any before. The humans do not fight like us. Their ships disappear and reappear. Their weapons can destroy entire fleets with a single blast. And worst of all, their warriors are not just pilots, but something else. Something we do not understand. A murmur passed through the crowd. Phantom operators, said another delegate, part human, part machine. We cannot match their speed or precision. Meanwhile, the truth behind the phantom operators was even stranger. These were humans who had undergone years of training, but their bodies had been connected to powerful AI systems. Their minds were linked directly to their ships, allowing instant control. No alien pilot could match their reflexes or decision-making. It was not just technology. It was a new kind of life, part human, part machine, and fully deadly. But the Supernova fleet was not alone. Deep in a secret base hidden in a rogue star system, the humans were preparing something greater. Operation Final Sunrise was about to begin. This was a plan so bold that if it succeeded, it would change the entire balance of power in the galaxy forever. On the edge of the Andromeda sector, human scientists had discovered a rare type of star, an ancient dying sun with strange energy properties. Using technology they built in secret, they had created a powerful Dyson shell, a massive structure that surrounded the star and harnessed its full energy. This energy was not just for power, it was a weapon. Weapon so strong it could destroy entire planets in moments. General Sarah Miles stood inside the command room overlooking the star. She watched as the energy levels rose, the star glowing brighter inside its shell. This is the heart of our power, she said softly. The war would not be fought with endless battles. It would be fought with precision strikes, with terrifying weapons of destruction that no one could stop. As Operation Final Sunrise moved closer, reports came from the front lines. The Supernova fleet continued its attacks. Whole fleets vanished without a trace. Worlds that resisted human control were destroyed, swiftly and without mercy. but civilians were often spared. Humanity fought not to conquer but to punish those who threatened peace. In the Alaris Prime Council, panic grew. Some voices called for surrender, others wanted to fight on to the last star. But the truth was clear. The galaxy had never seen anything like humanity's power. One night, a secret message arrived for Ambassador Trelak. It was from a mysterious source, an anonymous intelligence that had been tracking the Phantom operators. The message said, "They are not just warriors. They are ghosts born of humanity's survival instinct. They can learn, adapt, and improve faster than any enemy. And soon, they will become unstoppable." The message ended with a warning. Prepare for the final sunrise. The galaxy held its breath. The war was no longer just between ships and weapons. It was a battle of will, intelligence, and the future. Humanity had shown its teeth. Now it was time to reveal its full strength. The Galactic Concord was falling apart. Once a symbol of unity and peace, it now struggled to keep its members together. The shock of the Supernova fleet's attacks had shattered trust and friendship between star systems. Some races wanted to fight harder, to push humanity back. Others wanted to make peace before it was too late, but no one had the answer. In the heart of the Concord's capital, tensions rose like a storm. Ambassador Veshka of the Valari Empire slammed his fist on the table. "We cannot let humans destroy us. We must unite and strike before they grow stronger." "But how?" asked the Zentari delegate. "Their technology is beyond us. Their ships disappear at will. Even our spies fail to find their secrets." A heavy silence filled the room. Outside the council chambers, the galaxy was watching and waiting. The humans showed no sign of weakness. On Earth, General Sarah Miles received disturbing news. A rogue, admiral from the Drakari hegemony, angry over repeated defeats, had gathered his own fleet. He planned to launch a surprise attack on Earth itself. The Concord immediately sent warnings, but the rogue admiral was determined. He gathered a fleet of stolen ships and moved quickly toward the solar system. Unknown. To him, Earth was ready. Hidden in the cold darkness of the Oort cloud were the Guardians, ships built to protect Earth from exactly this kind of threat. Not only ships, but a weapon unlike any other, a microstar. This tiny, controlled star was a deadly trap. It could unleash bursts of energy strong enough to destroy entire fleets. When the rogue admiral's fleet entered the Oort cloud, the trap was sprung. The microstar flared to life, sending waves of plasma that disabled the entire fleet. The admiral's ships fell one by one, unable to escape. Meanwhile, the Concord tried a new strategy. If they could not defeat the Supernova fleet, perhaps they could steal their technology. Secret missions were sent to infiltrate human-controlled systems. Spies and hackers tried to break into Earth's networks, but every attempt failed. Human firewalls were stronger than anything seen before, and the Phantom operators quickly shut down intrusions. Every failure made the Conquered more desperate. General Miles watched the chaos with a steady gaze. "This war is not just about weapons," she said to her commanders. "It's about control. If we lose control of our technology, we lose everything." Her voice was calm but serious. They had spent decades building their defenses and training their operators. They would not let the galaxy steal that. As the war dragged on, cracks began to show in the galactic alliances. Old enemies blamed each other for failures. Some tried to negotiate secret deals with Earth. Others chose to surrender rather than face destruction. The Concord, once proud and united, now looked fragile. The silence of space. The Atlas Ascendant waited. This was humanity's secret weapon, a planet-sized war engine hidden in a remote system. It was designed to be the ultimate protector, a shield and a sword. If the galaxy continued to threaten Earth, the Atlas Ascendant would awaken, and no one could stop it. Back on Earth, General Miles stood before a large hologram of the galaxy. She pointed to the distant systems still holding, out against humanity's advance. "We give them one last chance," she said. "Peace." The galaxy had laughed at Earth's weakness. Now, Earth was offering a choice: stop the war, or face the full power of humanity. The galaxy was silent. The cracks in the crown were deep, and the war was far from over. The galaxy held its breath as Earth's message echoed through every star system. We tried peace. You answered with arrogance. Now we answer with fire. It was a warning and a promise. For years, humanity had been quiet, building their power in secret. Now they unleashed it. The Supernova fleet moved like a storm across the stars. Their dreadnoughts appeared suddenly, striking with unmatched precision and speed. Entire fleets vanished in hours. Starbases that had stood for centuries were reduced to ruins. But there was something different this time. Humans did not attack cities or innocent people. Their strikes were surgical. They destroyed only the military forces of their enemies. On the bridge of the dreadnought Sol Invictus, Captain Lena Rhea stared at the star map. Next target, the Avari system, she said. The orders were clear: hit hard and fast, then move on. The Supernova fleet was not here to conquer. They were here to punish. In the war rooms of the Galactic, Concord panic was growing. World leaders realized they could not stop humanity's advance. The technology was too advanced. The phantom operators were too fast and smart, and the weaponized stars like Atlas Ascendant remained a terrifying unknown. As the Supernova fleet moved from system to system, some worlds surrendered without a fight. The message was simple: surrender and live. Resist and be destroyed. The galaxy's great empires began to crumble. But not everyone gave up. A coalition of the strongest species formed a last-ditch alliance. They called it the Last Stand. They gathered every ship, every soldier, and every weapon. They prepared for a battle that could decide the fate of the galaxy. The Last Stand met the Supernova fleet near the Omega Nebula. The battle was fierce. Ships clashed in the swirling gas clouds. Lasers and missiles lit up the darkness, but the humans fought with calm and control. Their phantom operators anticipated every move. They struck from hidden positions, disappearing before the enemy could respond. Captain Reyes watched as the enemy flagship exploded in a burst of light. The tide was turning. The Last Stand fleet was breaking. But just when victory seemed certain, the Atlas Ascendant activated. A massive wave of energy radiated from the hidden war engine. It swept through the battlefield, disabling ships and weapons. The Supernova fleet surged forward. The Last Stand was destroyed. After the battle, the galaxy was silent. No one dared speak of defeat. Earth sent one final message: we will not stop. We are the shield of peace. But if you threaten the innocent, we will burn the heavens. Children on distant worlds whispered the new legend. The humans were no longer weak or foolish. They were the deadliest force the galaxy had ever seen. The war had changed the galaxy forever. After the destruction at the Omega Nebula, no one wanted more fighting. The once proud empires and coalitions now spoke in whispers and rumors. The humans had shown their power, and their warning was clear. Earth did not want endless war. They wanted peace. But their peace came with a price. One by one, the remaining star systems sent messages of surrender. They promised never to start wars again. They promised to respect Earth and its allies. The Galactic conquered, now fractured and weak, had no choice but to accept. General Sarah Miles watched the peace talks from Earth's command center. Her face was calm but serious. She knew the peace was fragile. The galaxy had learned a lesson. The cost of war with humanity was too high. But she also knew the war was not truly over. The Supernova fleet disappeared after the peace was declared. They returned to hidden stations scattered across the galaxy, waiting. The phantom operators went into hibernation, ready to awaken if needed. But even in peace, fear lingered. Every time a new star was born, every time a ship passed through space, many looked to the sky and wondered, are the humans watching? In quiet corners of the galaxy, stories grew. Stories of shadow ships crossing moons without warning, of systems mysteriously saved at the last moment, of humans appearing where no one expected. Children on distant planets learned new lessons. Not about ancient heroes or lost empires, but about Earth, about humanity's rise from a small, forgotten planet to the guardians of the galaxy. The final message from Earth was clear: respect our peace. Protect your worlds, and never forget, if we return, it will be the end. And with that warning, the galaxy settled into an uneasy silence. The stars twinkled, but behind their light a quiet fear remained. The galaxy had laughed once. Now, it only hoped humanity would never need to smile again.